So now we're all done creating the hardscape. We'll move on to part 2 of the series Floating Aquascape, and we're going to be starting with planting Bucephalandra but using glue. Like I said before, I like to use gel type super glue for this stuff. This is a brand new one, so let's open it. So this is some Bucephalandra that I saved from the pirate ship Scape that I'm going to dismantle soon. There it is. It grew like crazy, so I had to trim it because it was blanketing my Cryptocorini flamingo. So let's prepare these buce to put it on the dark piece of wood here. You can see there are still some glue stains on it, black stains and white stains, and we have to camouflage the tie wraps and the plexiglass. Now you're noticing I'm using 3 different types of wood here, and they have different colors. In a couple of months they'll all look the same. So the spider wood will turn darker and resemble the same color as the mopane. Let's use this piece. It has a lot of side shoots and it's nice, and well, we can get a lot of plants from this part. Okay, let's just first remove all the bad leaves. They're full of holes, but they have been in a very crowded tank, in competition with themselves, growing upwards. There's a little black brush algae on there. The rest of the leaves I'm just going to leave untouched because they have a little damaged parts on them, but they're not fully through yet, and I want you to see a little bit of foliage at the end of the video. So we can see here side shoots there. This one is a little bit bigger. This one is a side shoot. We're going to cut all these off and plant them individually, and then we're going to cut up the main stem into smaller pieces that we're also going to glue on the wood, and they will just grow out new plants. It will take a while before it's a full bush again, but this is a pretty fast growing Bucephalandra. I think it's a Kedagang, and it's pretty nice. It's got these little reddish stems, but they're not now, and they have this dark wavy leaf that works really well, especially side by side with Java fern that has longer bright green straight leaves. So that's a very good contrast. Cut them off close to the stem, but just far enough so it won't hurt the stem. And we'll just continue doing that until all is off. Okay, the very small side shoots I'm just going to leave on the main stem, so that at least it can get some energy from the light and continue growing. And now we're gonna take off the excess roots, because the plant cannot use these at the moment, and it's better to give them the opportunity to grow and maybe even attach to the wood a little bit better. Now let's cut up the main stem. into pieces of about 3 centimeters. Let's say for the Americans an inch. So these are our individual pieces, and we're going to glue them on this area right here. Or no, let's put them here on this area. So these roots will protrude the foliage a little bit. It will look good. We're going to mask up this piece here and this piece here. Now when you start gluing plants on, it's very easy to make the mistake of starting to plant in the line of sight. So if you're starting here, the plants will go here, and you will have a very hard time to plant behind those plants. So what you do, you begin at the farthest edge of your planting area, and then you can just place the plants in front of the plants that you have already glued, and that will make it much easier, especially if you have big hands. We're going to apply the super glue on the wood itself, and then we're going to put the plant on top and keep it there. A little bit close to the tie wrap, so I don't know if you can see properly, but that glue is staying there like a little droplet, and that will enable us to very carefully place the plant on the droplet. It's beneficial to have the plant a little bit wet. The moisture will react to the glue and harden up faster. So can you see that? We're going to plant, because I used a little bit too much glue, we're going to plant another one alongside of that. Look how great that is. Okay, let's move on. Little glue there. Don't squeeze the tube, the glue too hard, because it will not stop running, and you will have issues with wasting a lot of glue, gluing your fingers to everything, and gluing everything to everything. It's like a little drama, the super glue. If you never worked with it, it may not be a bad plan to practice. So if I put one here, I need a little bit of a longer droplet, because it's a piece that is going straight up. Glue the side of the plant to it. Oh, stuck to my finger. When doing planting, I always like to use a piece of wet cloth, because it will keep the plants a little bit moist, but while filming it's just not enough. So you need to spray it down a little bit, so the plants do not dry out, and also it will help to have the wood a little bit moist for our gluing process. Meanwhile I'm doing this, the kids in the neighborhood are ringing the door bell, because they want to play with my kids, which means that I don't have a cameraman at the moment, because both of them went out. So let's see how I do on my own. You can see it is already a little bit challenging to glue with the plants that are already on there. That is because these plants, of course, are a little bit wide. And the leaves will act like a little umbrella. Which is fine, but a little bit challenging. Let's see, how is this growing? Probably like this. I want to keep the direction equal. Now, with all these glue, there will be a couple of white spots on the wood, but you can sand them off. And also what you can do is you can use a little bit of soil powder to sprinkle on top of that, and that will help as well. Let's see if I have some of that stuff. So I had some of that stuff laying around. Very fine powder like. And we're just going to spray that on top, and it will attach itself to the glue that is still wet in some areas. It's going to completely overgrow with plants, and that will be it. Invisible. Okay, that was it. Planting buce. I realized that the dark buce on the dark wood doesn't give the nicest video, but I can assure you the result will be great. Let's move on to part 3, planting Hygrophila pinnatifida.